YouTube, is Tracker Fiend here. I'm out here in Moses Creek right now in my hometown of St. Augustine, Florida. I just figured I'd come out here real quick for a day hike, and I'd figured I'd go over a real quick overview of a couple changes and additions that I've made to my hammock. So I'm going to go over this as quickly as possible so I don't get dragged on and pressed for time. But a couple modifications I've made. I had several inches too long of this adjustable structural ridgeline. I went in and cut that off, tied a knot, and then fused the knot. I cut probably almost a foot off of there. And what I've done is I've added a little tiny prusik knot from one of my wife's hair ties. And that works really, really good and gives us some flexibility. So, works good. One of the keys, the actual hammock itself. This is a shorter length hammock. I know a lot of hammock campers out there, they advocate using a much longer hammock, 10 foot, 11 foot, even 12 foot long hammocks. Me personally, I haven't had any issues with this. This DD Superlight hammock is just under 9 feet. I think it's like 8 feet 9 or 8 feet 10 inches long. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. I can't think of the conversion, but because I think it's 2.3 meters. Someone feel free to do the conversion on that. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but the actual length of your hammock, while it is important, is not as important as the amount of sag that you have in your hammock, which is what you would get with your ridgeline. And I can't remember off the top of my head. Shug has a very good detailed video going over that and explaining the importance of sag in your hammock, which allows you to get a full true diagonal lay in your hammock. Again, this is the adjustable structural ridgeline. A lot of people just use fixed ridgelines. I prefer the adjustable. It's just I like having that extra little bit of leniency, I guess you could say, for me to make the necessary adjustments accordingly and stuff in case I need to add or reduce the amount of sag that I have in it so I can get that full lay, full diagonal lay on there. And it works fine. Ridgeline Organizer from Hammock Gear, Multicam. Again, I picked up the Hammock Gear Multicam hammock pillow. I love this thing. I thought I was never going to be getting a pillow for my hammock, but I gotta say it's definitely helped. I mean, it's worth the wait to me to actually have this. I don't know, it's just it works really, really well for a really comfortable sleep at night. Ridgeline Organizer. There's a large mesh pocket here. It's not a through pocket. It's like a slip pocket for a bottle. And I'm going to come over here to the other side real quick. And there are 3 additional pockets here. These Velcro tabs are actually for where you can attach to your ridgeline. I just went ahead and just ran it straight through the channel. That way I don't have to keep taking it off and whatever, but because I don't plan on taking it off. If it's in my way, I just slide it up out of the way and be fine with it, so no big deal. Another purchase I made was from Simply Let Designs. I may have already mentioned this. This is a double-ended stuff sack, also known as a bishop bag. I have a 10-foot Franke style bug net in here. I mentioned that I was going to be going over this and purchasing this, going over my backpacking loadout that I took with me on my trip in Linville Gorge, North Carolina. I did purchase the larger Franke style bug net from Dutch. Is a 10-foot model, and believe it or not, it's actually an ounce. I think it's an ounce lighter than the one that I purchased from DD Hammocks. I think it's a full ounce lighter. So again, I think the entire setup here, the 6-foot tree hugger straps, the soft shackle carabiners, and I did upgrade these from Simply Let Designs. These are quick release soft shackle carabiners. This is a 6-foot Whoopee Sling. These were originally on my gear sling. that I swapped out because I did change out the Whoopee Slings on my gear sling for, I believe, 8, maybe even 9-foot Whoopee Slings. I can't remember. I think they're 8 feet. Because the original ones I had on there were just a little bit too short. I had 6-foot Whoopee Slings, but I didn't take in consideration the compensation for the fact that the gear sling hammock is about half the size of your typical hammock, and I didn't take in consideration that extra length that I would need for the Whoopee Sling because the gear sling hammock was shorter. So I purchased, I believe, 8-foot, maybe even 9-foot Whoopee Slings from Simply Light Designs, which is exactly where I picked up this Sil Nylon Multicam double-ended stuff sack. And I also picked up a Woodland Camo double-ended stuff sack for my gear sling. So I have everything fits, the entire hammock set, the main hammock set, it fits right in here. And I believe it weighs 15.89 ounces for everything. The Ridgeline pocket, the hammock, Funky style bug net, the whoopies, the soft shackle carabiners, which are right there, and the 6-foot tree hugger straps, and the actual bishop bag stuff sack weighs in at 15.89 ounces, I believe. It's just under a pound. And my gear sling hammock weighs in at 8 ounces with the double-ended stuff sack and the longer. I think they're, what did I say? They were 8-9-foot Whoopee Slings. I don't remember now. But I mean, so far I've been liking this setup a lot. You know, the hanging pocket, the Ridgeline Organizer pocket's great, and I can't say enough good things about these double-ended stuff sack, this bishop bag, because it definitely helps out a great deal. I can, you know, if I need to, if I'm out camping and I need to get into my bug net because the bugs are coming out, all I have to do is open that up and pull my bug net right over the top of this Ridgeline, and I'm good to go. And if I don't need it, and it doesn't need to be used, I can sit there and stuff it up out of the way, and I can still stuff a couple more things in there too. There's plenty of room inside this bag, inside this bishop bag, for me to easily put my bug net and a couple other things in there too, just to get it up out of the way. So it works good. The entire system fits right inside here, and I just have maybe an inch or two, the tail end of one of my tree hugger straps just hanging out on both sides, and then I just attach one end to the tree, secure it with the soft shackle carabiner, run it out, attach the other end of the Whoopee Sling, the other Whoopee Sling, to the other tree, and adjust it accordingly, and I'm good to go. It's been a while since I've put a video up on YouTube. The main reason why that is because a couple months back in August, I became a father for the first time in my life, and it has been it's been a ride so far. It's only been a couple of months, and he's an absolute trip. But you know, he's getting up there. He's getting a little big already and stuff, and he's already starting to develop a little bit of an attitude and personality. You can already start to see it in him. But that's the main reason why I haven't had any videos up lately, because I've just been busy trying to do the whole dad thing. But hopefully I'll be putting some other videos up, hopefully in the coming months, and try to get out for hopefully maybe a weekend trip or something like that, maybe the beginning of next year or so. But you know, questions, comments, let me know what you think. Questions, comments, feel free to leave them down at the bottom, and I'll try to answer them for you. But you know, I figured I'd come out here real quick for a little day hike, throw this up, give a quick overview of the changes and modifications that I've made to this since my last video that I put up, and I showed this hammock setup, which was my backpacking loadout, my backpacking trip in Linville Gorge, North Carolina. So, but I'm out here in Moses Creek right now in St. Augustine, Florida, and the sun's starting to go down just a little bit. It's a nice area. Thankfully the weather's cooling off, so the ticks aren't too bad. But again, questions, comments, feel free to leave them, and I'll try to answer them for you. And hopefully I'll see you soon and try to get another video up, hopefully in the coming weeks or so. Take care.